Walking to cure anxiety. Walking for anxiety sufferers. For those that are going through the panic attacks. Let me be the first to tell you, I really feel for you. I can relate to you. And I really, really empathize and even sympathize. I feel the pain. Because guess what? You may not know this if you're new to the channel. I'm just like you. I grew up in a household with a terminally ill parent. My father, who was diagnosed with Parkinson's condition, and I've talked about this in some of my videos, and I dropped two recent ones this past week or so. So do check that out. So you talk about being vulnerable and just being yourself. I have no choice but to be myself because it's become my identity, and you can see how freely I talk. This is something you cannot make up. And when you come from a family like that, and a combination of a toxic mother, I did that video together. My Parkinson's story and a toxic mother. Please be sure to check it out. I'll try to link it in this video at least, because it's all related to anxiety. But sticking to the topic, when you come from that environment, the family dynamics, your childhood has a lot to do with your anxiety, in my opinion. It may not actually, but I have done a deep audit in my life as of these last 3 years, 4 years, especially after moving from California to Nevada. Yep, there goes my hoodie. Let it fly. But yeah, I've done some extreme audits. I've taken time outs. I've taken the time out and I've embraced solitude to do the audit. And the conclusion is that when you're exposed to so much trauma, so much stress as a kid, as a teenager, and it becomes part of your life, it may not show up then, but it can show up a lot later in life. And you don't know how many doctor's visits I've had in the course of my existence, telling him that there was something severely wrong with me. But there wasn't. All the blood tests, or the heartbeats, the EKGs, and I put them through the ringer to get those tests done. It wasn't necessary. I was in perfect health. And thankfully, even I am today. The problem was, and I've done a video on anxiety specifically, not to Google up the symptoms, and I was doing that all night. That explains why I couldn't sleep properly, right? So, something to shift from that to this. If you notice what I'm doing right now and telling my story is I cannot foresee, even though I see a lot of YouTubers sitting in a room, parked in a car, it's all nice, warm and fuzzy, and talking about life. That's one way to look at it, right? That's one way to look at it. See, look at behind me. I don't know if you can see the cross. Like, that's kind of symbolic of something, no? Yeah? I look out for things like that. It just hits home symbolically. It just hits home differently. But if I just can't see myself. I'm not that guy to just sit around in a car and talk and not necessarily preach, but give advice about stuff like this. I need to be in motion. And when I'm not walking, my ideas are not flowing. My words just cannot come out the way it would if I'm sitting. And so, in fact, what happens is I start getting anxiety the more I'm sitting down and stationary. And that's your body's way of telling you that you need to move. Because movement and the blood flow, surprise, surprise, can fix a lot of problems. And guess what? Guess what it can fix? First off, the blood flow to your brain, to your mind. It removes that brain fog. Very important. So if you're fasting and you're walking, you're onto something really, really groundbreaking for your health and mental health. It reduces anxiety. It tapers off. You ever sit on a couch while watching TV for an extended period of time, get really comfortable, and you just sink into the couch? Your back slouches, right? You just go into this cave, right? One, it's bad for your back. Two, there's nothing there. There's no movement. Three, you're reaching for snacks. that add up over time. So you're packing on calories, assuming it's all junk that you're eating, right? Versus this, okay? If you're binge watching television, scrolling, don't. I know it's hard because I've been there. Do this. Tell you a story. Walk. Get out in nature. I don't care if it's 50 Fahrenheit. It's really not cold because you got the sun. And guess what? You're going to be warmed up by the time you are like 10 minutes into it. You're going to want to do more. Get out in the sun. Get out in nature. You know, I encourage you to walk and fast. Do it together. That combination is so deadly, so powerful. But this simple act of just walking solves a lot of problems for me personally. Walking, hands down, tapers, calms. I don't want to say necessarily Q is 100% anxiety because we all have a degree of anxiety, but it's I would say 70-80% is here. The healing is here. If you're not taking any medication, I'm taking Xanax as needed, off and on. I've just had a very horrific. My PTSD from my father is just horrific. Sometimes it strikes me from nowhere. When I see people, I talk about this like shaking. When I see tremors, people shaking, you know, at the grocery store, at the gas station, just on a normal day-to-day life, I get triggered. I go into a space like, and people can't tell that I'm thinking about that, and my throat gets heavy. I get speech impairment sometimes, and as anxiety kicking in, I can feel tingles and pins and needles and everything getting numb. My tongue starts feeling a certain way. So I know, hey, yo, bro, go for a walk. That's it. That's it. 15 minutes into my walk, the way my heart and lungs just sync together and tell a different story to my mind. It's an amazing feeling, folks. So I hope more of you are doing this, especially if you're at an advanced age, right? And when we get to an advanced age, I'm not saying Gen X is advanced, but it's slowly getting there, right? And we know that time is ticking, right? So with that, our thoughts become very, we got some strong opinions, right? It's hard to change us. And to open up a different side and perspective, we have to find ways that allow us to move a certain way or think different way and be open to different perspectives. And that's where I personally find walking is a way to free your mind and offload some of that anxiety and the baggage that we are carrying. So I want to keep it as short as possible, but this was specifically talking about walking and the benefits and the positive impacts it can have on your personal anxiety battle. Okay? I'm going to do another round. Next topic, another video. Mamba out.